Welcome back to my channel, Mental Health with Melissa. I'm Melissa. I'm a licensed clinical therapist with a private practice based in California. If you're new here, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more videos and content like this because I post videos every single Sunday and Wednesday. Subscribing to my channel really helps me get information out there to our communities at large, and also continues to break down that stigma of mental health in communities of color. Today, what I would like to talk about is about COVID, the pandemic, this overarching feeling of loss, and a population that we actually may not talk about or think about that much in light of this pandemic and the many changes, including social distancing measures, we have had to kind of change up. And that population that I'm talking about are the college student population, or those that are in the university system. So recently I was featured in an article on the University of Southern California website, which I want to link here. And I was very honored to be a part of this featured article because my alma mater is USC. I've talked about it before. And so it all kind of comes full circle. I thought it was really special that the student that wrote the article reached out to me, who is in, I believe, the journalism major over there at USC, and they wanted to do a piece on grief and loss in the context of being a college student and what that really means to people. So basically, when we're thinking about the college experience and about going to university before the pandemic hit, what do you think about? And I asked that question because I think a lot of us kind of have that same picturesque of the college experience in our head, and that may be in undergrad, living in the dorms perhaps, walking to classes, sitting on Red Square or at the Quad, being able to go to student associations, going to your first sorority or fraternity Greek party, and really being able to have this special connection with your fellow students. And especially for those that are from out of state, really being able to have the out of state experience and this full-on undergraduate college experience. Now, in my conversation with the person that interviewed me, she asked me a lot about my perceptions on loss and what that may look like, or how to grieve if you're a college student and really are missing out on that college experience. Now, this is an important topic because, again, we have been in this worldwide pandemic. Certainly there have been a lot of really horrific things that have happened, such as people dying, so many people contracting the virus, needing to give up so many things, social distancing, isolation, and much more. More particularly, when we think about specifics in this, we can certainly think of the college student. So I want to insert some clips of some college students here and their experiences.
Actually isn't that difficult. It does require a little extra planning and some layers when it's cold outside.
The further into the semester that we've gotten, the easier it's gotten for everybody, both professors and students.
This is probably the most familiar screen to me now during the pandemic.
It's really hard to do lighting design online, obviously, because normally you'd be in the theater. But we have this really cool software that lets us design online.
We have 2 cameras to capture everybody who's attending in person, and we have the screen that everybody who's attending remotely is projected upon. That way we can see them.
I am currently walking to go get tested for COVID for the day.
Right over here, this huge building has been dedicated to testing. I'm just waiting for my turn to get COVID tested. I have my handy dandy student ID.
I would end college.
My school, where I'm from, has really been impacted by the virus.
We expected something to happen soon, but we didn't know it would be this drastic so quickly.
When my chancellor first sent out an email telling us that QCSB is going remote, I was shocked.
Students who were off campus during spring break were essentially told to not come back to campus, and they were ordered to either stay or go back to their permanent address.
Last week was my last time in the facilities.
School is closed, students were instructed to evacuate and join their families, but I cannot because I'm an international student and I cannot leave because of travel bans.
As an international student, I do not have a place to stay here, and currently I'm in a pretty sticky situation. My visa was rejected this week, so I literally do not have a place to go back right now. And my only choice is to stay here in America and hopefully Georgetown.
I have chosen to stay in Santa Cruz. This is mainly because if I am exposed to the virus and I'm asymptomatic right now, I don't want to go back to my parents' house and accidentally expose my family.
When I came home yesterday, I had a lot of paranoia around. I really just sat through a flight. I really just went through 2 of the biggest airports, and who knows what I touched. And I had this fear that, okay, if I come home, am I going to give anything to my parents? Am I going to give anything to my older relatives, like my
and they need someone to talk to because everything they knew was ripped away from them in a set of emails.
A lot of extracurriculars on campus have also been totally eliminated. I personally do research in a lab, and I am not allowed to go on campus currently unless I have things that I need to keep alive.
I'm an athlete on the track team. Our entire spring season got canceled, which has been really tough.
The organization that I'm the president of, all of our competitions were canceled, which I understand why. For the safety of everyone, I agree with that they were canceled. I cried a lot when I found out that all of the work we had put in for months and months and months wasn't going to happen this year.
I am in my final semester of college. I was supposed to be abroad, had that taken away from me. I'm supposed to be graduating, walking in May, and there's a chance my commencement ceremony could get canceled.
Today, actually, we just got an email that our commencement ceremonies have been canceled. It feels surreal. Like I'm not even like sad, or I know I should be sad and disappointed, and I guess I am to an extent, but it doesn't feel real.
Having to pick up, leave everything has been it's been a lot for me to process.
Not getting to say goodbye to friends in person has led to a lot of really emotional FaceTime calls and texting calls, just thanking them for being a friend for 4 years. And I should have said stuff before coronavirus happened, and I'm learning that.
I go through periods where I feel very angry about this situation, and I also go through periods where I'm just in shock. I can't believe this has happened.
So a high moment of this experience is, just a sense of community and love and support.
Going on Facebook, different pages have been really uplifting with other students and new graduates being in the same position, and it's making me feel a lot better.
They're just a nice dose of humor and a place for all the students that are more or less my age to come together in solidarity and just laugh about things and provide support if things are more serious.
We're all in this together, and the class of 2020 will be remembered for sure with all of this, and we will be celebrated one day or another, even if it's months after this pandemic.
It's terrible. I may not get to have a graduation ceremony. I may not get to see some of my friends again, but in the end, it hopefully will be because lives were saved.
So as you can see, a lot of the college students here have talked about really missing out on those core things. And I think in my article that I have on the USC website, I talk a lot about it all being relative, right? So unfortunately, because of all the things happening in the world and it just being such a horrible thing that's going on, I think a lot of people may certainly minimize their situations. And that can be said too about maybe some college student experiences. And a really important part of being able to process the loss of something is being able to share that experience with somebody maybe that really understands that. And so In the article on the website, I talk about support groups, and the reason why grief and loss support groups are popular if we're thinking about like even something unrelated to college, like perhaps like the death of a family member and going to a support group to that, is because you really get to come together with a group of people and discuss your own experiences with that and hear other people that may have similar experiences. And in the case of, you know, this worldwide pandemic and this affecting college students, because a major loss in that experience is being able to meet fellow students in the dorms or go to class and meet classmates that way and talk to professors in person. Having a support group possibly online and reaching out to your fellow students, a cohort, or even your professors in that capacity may be a really good option to decompress and again process what this loss means to you. If we're thinking about loss in college, you know, you are missing out on that core experience, and loss looks different to every person. And so another thing that is talked about in that article, grief looks like when it becomes complicated. And, you know, there really is no wrong or right way to grieve, especially with these things that we're talking about if you are a college student and missing out on experiences. However, if you are having thoughts of wanting to harm yourself or just feeling like you're not able to function because of the grief that has overcome you since the pandemic, then you're really going to want to reach out to somebody. I thought this was a really important type of video to get out there. Again, don't forget to check out the article that I'm going to post down below, and reach out if you need somebody to talk to. Social distancing is so different than social isolation. I appreciate you watching, and as always, don't forget, managing mental health matters.